Hello everybody, this is Coach Gear. We're going to be making a video, or I'm going to be doing a video here for you to take notes on, and it's about how to graph linear equations when you're given the slope-intercept form of a line. Okay, so we're just going to go through the fill-in-the-blank part of this just so you can kind of get some of the terms down. So, as it says, today we're going to learn how to graph lines when given an equation in slope-intercept form. Okay, we'll talk about that in a minute. To graph a linear, and again, we're writing down what linear means just so you kind of remember. It means straight line, and you actually see the word line in there. Make sure you underline that. When given the form, and here's the way we write it, it's y equals mx and then plus or minus b. I know that's a little weird sounding. We've talked about in class the M stands for slope for whatever reason, and the y-intercept is the plus or minus number at the back of that, and they use B for that, which again, not really helpful, but hopefully something you remember. And again, first we need to know a few things about that. Okay, first the y-intercept, and again we're thinking this is your y-axis. Okay, and the letter B is what they use for this. Of our graph is the number at the back. Sometimes it'll be in the front, but when we write it like this, it's going to be at the back, that has a plus sign or a minus sign in front of it. That's what that means right there, plus or minus. It can be a plus or a minus. Next, we need to know that the number in front of the x is the slope. Okay, so whatever number we find in front of the x, okay, right there, whatever number's there, that is our slope. Now, you also need to remember that if there's not a number there, there technically is, it's a 1. So make sure you remember that. So once we know these two things, and remember that slope is rise over run, graphing linear equations becomes very easy. The one thing we also need to remember is that we always rise. Okay, when we use this form, you're always going to rise from the y-intercept. So that's going to be your starting point, the y-intercept. And then when we run to the right, okay, that's for slopes that are positive. And when we run to the left for negative slopes. Okay, please notice that rise is always the first part. You're always rising, and from there, running to the right is when you have a positive slope, and running to the left when you have a negative slope. Now you see at the bottom, we've got a whole bunch of equations down here, and we're going to graph these on the back. Now you don't have to keep flipping back and forth. You can just look at the graph page as I do them, and I'll keep going back and forth so you can see which equation we're doing. And by the time we're done, this is going to be a big mess. There's going to be stuff all over it, and lines everywhere. I think we got 14 lines here we're going to do. Okay, now to help yourself out, I did this to help myself count. I went and did increments of 5, so I didn't write down every line, but I did 5, 10, 15, and then down on the bottom, -5, -10, -15. And that's just so when I'm trying to find the y-intercept, it's a little faster. And I'm going to try to use a different colored pen for every one of these, which might be hard because I'm holding the iPad here, so we'll see how that goes. That might not be the greatest thing. We'll just see how that goes. Okay, so our first one, y equals 3x plus 2. Again, the plus 2, that's our starting point. So on our graph, we're going to positive 2, which is right here, and we're putting a point there. Okay, that is one of the points on the graph. Now our slope in this situation is 3, which when it's a whole number, we want to make sure we write it like this, with a 1 underneath it. So that remembers that we do have to run 1. Okay, we can't just rise 3 and put a point. So from this point right here, we rise 3, so 3 up and 1 over, there's that point. 3 up and 1 over, there's that point. Now, if I want to create some points that are behind the or below the y-intercept here, I just do the opposite. So instead of going up 3 and right 1, I'm going to go down 3 and left 1. Okay, and as you see, they create a straight line, which when I draw it may not be that straight, but that is the line that we just created. Okay? All right, next. Y equals negative 2x plus 5. Again, the plus 5 is our starting point. So we're going to go right here to positive 5. We're going to put a point there. Okay, that's our first point. Now again, we have a whole number slope. Yes, it's negative, but we need to remember that it has a 1 underneath it. So then when we come over here, from this point, we go up 2, but since it's negative, we go left 1. Up 2, left 1, up 2, left 1. Sounds like the Army. Down 2, right 1. I'm just doing the opposite to create some points this way. Oops, down 2, that's not down 2, that's down 2. And as you see, our negative slope line goes in that direction. Okay? The third one, 3/4 x minus 4. Again, the minus 4 is our starting point. So we come over here to the graph. Our first point is at negative 4. Our slope is 3/4, so that means rise 3 and run 4. So 1, 2, 3 up, 1, 2, 3, 4 over. 1, 2, 3 up, 1, 2, 3, 4 over. If I want to do a point backwards, I just do the opposite. So 1, 2, 3 down, 1, 2, 3, 4 over. And again, that's my line that goes through there. Now, I do want to say, remember, 2 points. 2 points will always make a line, but it's always a good safe bet to have 3 or 4, just so you know it does create a straight line, because if it doesn't create a straight line, something went wrong, okay, on these linear equations. Okay, fourth one, negative 2/3 x plus 1. Again, the plus 1 is where I'm going to start, so I'm coming right up here to plus 1 on my y-axis. My slope is negative 2/3. So again, the top number is rise, so from right here, where we are at plus 1, I rise 2, so that's here, and then I run left 3, 1, 2, 3, because it's negative. Up 2, left 3. Again, down here I can do the opposite. Down 2, right 3. Okay, and again, that's what my line would look like for that one. All right. Okay, the fourth one. 5x minus 9. Again, the minus 9 is my starting point. So I come over here to the graph. I come in here to negative 9 on my y-axis. That's that first point. My slope, again, is 5. That's a whole number, so I want to make sure I put a 1 underneath it. So again, from this point right here, I rise 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I run 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, run 1. And again, if I'm going to do the opposite, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and left 1. And as you can see, I know my lines aren't that straight, but that's what that line would look like. Okay, and as you can see, we've done 5 so far, and it's already getting pretty messy, but we're getting some good practice in, I hope. Okay, number 6. 7/5 x minus 12. Again, our starting point, negative 12. So I come down here to negative 12, which is right here. My slope is 7/5, 7 over 5. So that tells me from here, I rise 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then I run 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's that point. Run up 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and run 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I say, do I have room down here? Yeah. Down 7, so down to here, and left 5 puts me right there. And as you can see, again, we have our straight line. Okay, the last one on this left side. Point x plus 10. Well, point x looks more like a unit rate. Hopefully you remember that. And if we need to do the slope, we need to turn that into a fraction. So the easiest way, that is 8/10, which I can simplify to 4/5. So that's my slope. My starting point is positive 10. So I come up here to positive 10. My slope was 4/5. So from here, up 4, and then right 5 puts me right there. Up 4, right 5 puts me there. do the opposite to get some on the lower side. So down 4. Oops, that's not left 5. There we go. And there's that line right there. All right, how many pens do I got left here? Okay, just enough. All right, the next one. So we're at the top of the next here. Negative 2.5x minus 6. Okay, yes, my starting point is negative 6. So I'm going to come down here to negative 6. There's my first point. Now, this is a little tricky. Negative 2.5. Well, again, that looks like a unit rate, so I want to change that to a fraction. So I would write negative 2.5. But that's a mixed number. I want a fraction. In this case, it's going to be improper. So 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5. So now I know my slope, negative 5 over 2. So I come back to my point here, negative 6. I go up 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And since it's negative, left 2. Up 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, left 2. Do the opposite down here. So down 5, right 2. And as you see, and I say that every time, I'm pretty sure, but there is your line for that one. All right. Next one. Now this one's going to have a decimal as our y-intercept, which we're still going to do. Still going to happen the same way. Nothing's going to change. It's going to be in between 1 and 2. So positive 1.5. So I go right here. Here's 1, here's 2, so positive 1.5 is right here in between those. Okay. Again, I have a whole number slope, so I need to write that with a 1 underneath it. So from right here, I go up 10. Okay, now remember I'm at 1.5 here, so every 1 that I go up is halfway. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then over 1 puts me right there. Okay, now I know I can't go further up, so I'm going to go downward from here. So down 1, down 2, down 3, down 4, down 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 1 over is right there. And that's a pretty steep line. Whoops. Steep line there. Okay. But that's because the slope is a pretty big number, 10. Okay, up 10 over 1. You barely are going over at all. Okay. Next one. 9 over 2x minus 15. Again, my starting point, negative 15. So I come all the way down here to negative 15. Okay, the slope is 9 over 2. So that means from here I go up, whoops, up 9. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and over 2. Up 9, over 2. I could do that a few times. 3, 6, 9 over 2. I don't think I have room at the bottom. I don't. So there's my line for that one. All right, 4 more to go. Let's see here. Positive 3. So I come up here. Positive 3, which is right here. The slope is negative 8 over 3. So when I come back over here, up 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But then negative tells me go left. So 1, 2, 3, right there. Up 8, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Left 3 puts me right there. And my line would look something like that. All right, 3 more. The next one, 7x plus 7. Again, the plus 7 is where I start. So I come up here, there's 5, 6, 7's right there. There's my starting point. Slope is 7. So again, hopefully you know by now, put a 1 underneath that. So from here, I go up 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, over 1. Okay, I'm going to do the opposite down here. Okay, because we were at plus 7. So I'm going to go down 7, 1, 2, that would just right to here. And then over to the left 1. And there's the slope for that one. There's the line for that one. Again, big jumbled mess, right? Big mess. Okay, 2 more to go. Negative 1/2 x minus 8. Okay, so I come over here down to negative 8, which I want to use a different color because I don't want that to look the same. So negative 8, here's negative 10, so negative 8 is right there. The slope is -1/2, so that means go up 1, left 2, up 1, left 2, up 1, left 2. Okay, and if I did the opposite down here, it would look like this. So as you see, there's the line for that one. And the last one, yay, -2.5. So I come down here, -1, 2.5 is right here. My slope is 3/10, so that means from here I go up 3. Again, I'm in the middle between two numbers, so I got to stay in the middle when I go up. So up 1, up 2, up 3, and then positive means go right, so 3/10, so right 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I don't have room to do another point, so I'm going to do the opposite this way, so down 1, down 2, down 3, and then right 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's that one. And as you see, when I connect these 3 points, I have a straight line. All right, just about 16 minutes. Maybe take 2 8-minute times to do this, but got done, all finished, big mess, kind of pretty, who knows, maybe we can call this some art. But there's your video notes. Hopefully you understand this very well. Hopefully it makes graphing a lot easier for you. All right, we'll see you in class. Have a good day.